it's all pre-taped.
I'm Diane from Arlington Public Library, and we're starting a new feature talking about what's going on in the library and what's going on in our community, and most importantly, focusing on interesting people in Arlington whose stories you might or might not have heard. So today is the first, and we're delighted to be joined by Freddie Lutz, who is the owner of an Italian restaurant in Crystal City and also Freddies Beach Bar. Is that right, Freddie?
Freddies Beach Bar and Restaurant, yes.
Right, and I've been there a bunch of times and it's a great place, but more importantly, Freddie is a lifelong resident of Arlington. Grew up here, came of age here, opened restaurants here, has been part of the community for a long time. So I thought it might be fun to kind of go back and how did you end up in Arlington?
So I was born in New York City. My dad was a military, a colonel in the Army, and we moved to St. Louis when I was about 2 and moved here to Arlington when I was 3 years old. And unlike most military brats, we pretty much stayed put. Dad was in ordnance and pretty much hanging around the Pentagon most of the time. And so I went to Oak Ridge Elementary School, Gunston Junior High, and Wakefield High School.
Okay.
And then I went off to art school.
Okay, yeah. So you went to art school. Where did you go to art school?
A little place called the Rhode Island School of Design.
Little place, yes. And so you went to art school, and was it just not your thing? Or?
No, I graduated with a BFA. And as I told the students at Wakefield at a career day, you know, I'm not a famous artist, but that doesn't mean I'm not going to be a famous artist. I'm not dead yet.
There you go. Hope springs eternal.
When I came back home from school, my mother said, why don't you go down to Portofino and get a waiter job? So I did go down there, and they didn't need a waiter, but Mr. Mealy told me he needed a stockroom manager, which basically meant breaking down cardboard boxes and picking shoes up off the floor in the basement.
Right.
So I took that job, and that segued into the 2 owners opened Cafe Italia across the street. It was a little pizzeria, and I stayed there, became maitre d' and manager, and stayed there for 25 years.
Wow, that's a long time.
And then I told Mr. Mealy that I was starting to get a little bored, and we had often talked about opening a gay bar together, but I told him I wanted to try something on my own, so I opened Freddies up the street, which I've had for 20 years now.
So when you first opened Freddies, there was pretty much nothing like it over here in Arlington. Is that accurate?
True, and there pretty much still isn't in Northern Virginia. We seem to have the monopoly on it. I don't know if because of my Italian connections, people think I have some mafia connection and they're afraid to open.
Right.
I'm kidding. But there were a couple of gay bars in Alexandria, 808 King Street, and also when the first couple of years that I was open, there was one called the Hunt Club.
Okay.
In Huntington, and they have both since they're no longer there. You know.
So when you opened up the restaurant, what was the response from the community?
Well, Cafe Italia for 25 years had been very gay friendly.
Okay.
And we had the gay flag in the entryway, and we did drag shows at Halloween with the staff, and we advertised in the Blade. So that sort of helped me segue into opening a place on 23rd Street. That and the fact that it was pretty good timing. The police department was going through diversity training right about the time I opened up and things like that. And from my growing up here, knowing all the neighbors, people respected me from Cafe Italia. I think people were pretty supportive. And it wasn't like we were opening some sleazy bathhouse you know.
Right.
And once we did open, I think it sort of sent a message out to the entire community, police, fire, everybody, that this was a pretty respectable crowd.
Right. Right. Well, the times I've been, it's a lot of fun. You know, the karaoke and the crowd. The crowd is very mixed. I mean, do people know that it's not just a place, a restaurant for gays, but
well, we actually advertise ourselves on some of our business cards as the only gay but straight friendly bar in Northern Virginia. So
that's great. So let's talk a little bit about the restaurant scene. Arlington has not often been recognized, I think, for the diversity of the cuisines that we have. You mentioned the Italian restaurants, but how do you think we stack up overall compared to other communities like Fairfax or even Alexandria in terms of the variety and the kind of food people can expect to get?
Well, I think we have incredible variety, even right on 23rd Street. We have Ethiopian, Indian, Italian, sushi,
right.
A little bit of everything.
You've been here a long time. I moved here with my family, similar story. My father was in the service and then left the service, and we moved here in 58 so he could work for the government, as in 1958, long time ago. And how would you characterize the changes that have come to Arlington over the years? I mean, I can't imagine when my father and my mother landed here in 58 that one day Crystal City would look like it is and Roslyn would look like it is, and now there's Amazon. So from your perspective, what are the things that stand out most for you?
First of all, we love Amazon.
Okay.
Lucky enough to have them reach out to me and ask me if I'd partner up to serve 10,000 meals in the month of May for the first responders, and we did that.
Right.
Amazon is a good friend, and we're really looking forward to them moving into the neighborhood. When I was a kid, my dad, although he worked mostly at the Pentagon, he did at one point work in some temporary buildings over the airport, and we would pick him up. And the main entrance to Reagan Airport at that time was under a railroad bridge. Mm-hmm. And if traffic was coming in two directions, this was the main entrance to the airport. Traffic would have to stop because only one car could fit through that railroad bridge at a time.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that I can't even remember. I mean, I remember some of that stuff, but it seems like the subway's been here forever, and the kind of development we have has been here forever. And it's hard to remember when Arlington looked and felt very different. What about though some of the folks, the long timers, who feel that we've lost some of that hometown, small town feel, that we've gone too corporate? Does that?
Well, I think that's one of the reasons that Amazon loves Freddies and loves 23rd Street. And that's one of the things that we're trying to preserve over on 23rd Street. We're trying to create a little village that is more, cozy and neighborhood feeling and that sort of thing. So we're working hard on that. I'm on the board of the Crystal City bid, and they've done a wonderful job helping us with that too. So
I think that bid is really strong. I've worked with them a little bit. We had a small library in the underground for a couple of years, and I still have visions of a full service library over there in Crystal City to support the residents and the businesses and Amazon and
I think Amazon is very in tune with the feelings of the neighbors. They're constantly reaching out. They don't put a lot of cafeterias in their campus because they want their folks to go out into the neighborhood and that sort of thing, and creating parks and different things like that. Also, Billy Baines from the Sports Pub and the Pappas Group, Georgia and Stratus, have worked very hard to create some really incredible outdoor dining areas on 23rd Street in the midst of this pandemic. And what's blossomed out of that is really a great thing. It's awesome.
Okay. What's your favorite thing on the menu in the Italian restaurant?
Pollo Federico.
Yeah. I like the name. That's great.
You on a really quick tour?
Oh, of course. Yes.
Okay. This is one of my pieces. I don't know if you can see it from high school. It's a little wall sculpture.
Oh, are those nails?
Yeah, masonry nails. And
oh, that's great.
this one over here, sort of an abstract things. One of our roommates, Peter. Can you see Peter?
Hi, Peter. Great.
I wrapped one of my high school buddies in plaster gauze and cut him out and created Peter.
You're kidding, really? Wow. Oh, are those clouds on the ceiling?
On the ceiling in the dining room, yeah.
That's fun.
My friend Dana Westring did that while my parents were on vacation. My mother was stepping in the Cadillac and she said, and I do not want clouds on my dining room ceiling. And I said, bye.
Okay.
And then in our little guest bathroom here, this is Shirley.
Oh, Shirley. Oh, Shirley looks great.
See Shirley?
I love Shirley. Yes.
Anyway, there's my little tour for the day.
I love your house. Well, Freddie, I'm really gonna say goodbye because you probably have to get ready for the dinner rush or something like that. Yeah, gotta get dressed. Yep. And
nice talking to you. Thank you for this.
It was fun. We knew you would be a great story and longtime Arlingtonian, and you've contributed so much to the community. So I'll have to stop by the rest. Can we dine in yet, or are we still kind of?
Yes, at both places. The bar at Freddies is not open yet, but you can dine inside.
Okay.
And as with the other people on the street, we've created a little beach bar out in the back parking lot.
Nice. Well, we will be by, and
awesome.
Wish you every success and good news working with Amazon. I think that's really terrific for you and for the community. So thanks very much, and we'll touch base again soon.
Thank you.